affected the LGBTQ community. Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Resolve to recycle more. Recycle paper, bottles, and cans directly, and recycle old clothes by donating them. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing? Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Now that we have started a new year, think about ways you can help the environment. First, make the switch to green soaps and personal products, and green cleaning products for the sink and shower. Use towels made from materials like organic cotton. And finally, make the switch to LED lights, which can last for many years and use very little power. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
95.7 The Game is an equal opportunity employer, and we encourage local community organizations to refer qualified applicants to us. You can receive The Game and Odyssey job vacancy information by contacting Human Resources at 415-765-4011 or by emailing sfhr@odyssey.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning! Yeah.
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
The Super Bowl is set. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Pregame Show with Joe Spadoni right here on 95.7 The Game. Yes, the Super Bowl is set, but the 49ers will not be a part of it. Eagles advance 31-7 in the NFC Championship. They will be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, who got it done late last night in Kansas City against the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's all she wrote on the season, folks. And it's a tough way to go out. There's no sugarcoating it. That was an ugly, ugly game. From the penalties, from the injuries, from a viewership perspective, like it was night and day between the NFC and AFC Championship game. And if you're just a casual fan, if you're just a fan of football, you just wanted to watch some good football this weekend, you didn't get it early. And it was a really tough pill to swallow if you're a 49ers fan. And the number is 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570, Xfinity mobile text line. Hello, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, @Spadoni_Joe. Hit me up everywhere. It's Niners therapy session today on 95.7 The Game. Bonte Shasky, they were at the game. They're locked and loaded, live from Philadelphia at 6 o'clock. You're not going to want to miss that. Willard Dibbs, Steiny Goo, Damon Ratto, The Night Show, everyone will be breaking down this game and what feels like a missed opportunity. It kind of feels like you got cheated. No, not by the refs, and we'll get into the refs. Questionable calls, to say the least, throughout the weekend, not just in the NFL, by the way. But it was a tough one because you felt like if Brock Purdy did not get injured right off the bat, right off the start, right off the rip, whatever you want to say, you might have had a chance. And I think you would have had a good chance. Now, injuries happen in sports. It is what it is. Can't cry over it. You got to move on. Easier said than done when you get this far. And this really did feel like the year for the 49ers. It felt like you had a quarterback who wasn't turning the ball over, a head coach that believed in him, a defense that was, listen, those are the two best defenses in the NFL yesterday. 49ers are better. Maybe their front isn't as good, but I saw them flying to the ball. I saw them tackling. Fred Warner, you got scared second play of the game. That was just a stinger, thankfully. But you had the defense. You had the running game. You saw McCaffrey. Hell, when Josh Johnson was in there, I still gave him a shot to win the game. Then he goes out with a concussion, and that was pretty much all she wrote after that. So it's tough. It was absolutely tough. And it's always when you get into this situation, would you rather have lost like the Niners did yesterday or have your team lose like the Bengals did, right? Oh, so close till the end. Well, it's the Bengals because you lost 2 quarterbacks. I mean, not just 2 quarterbacks in this game. You lost 4 quarterbacks on the season. You can't, listen, if you want to blame Kyle Shanahan for some of the missed challenges or not taking timeouts in the delay games, sure, that's fine. I'm not going to blame him for this loss, though. I think that's stupid. He lost 4 quarterbacks this season. 2 of them yesterday in the biggest game of their lives. And they lost. It happens. You lose a quarterback, more often than not, you're screwed. With Kyle Shanahan, he does wonders. He brought in a 3rd-string Mr. Irrelevant, and up until yesterday, till he got hurt, he hadn't lost a game. And they were rolling. And that first quarter, I felt like set the tone more than anything. And we're going to be breaking down this entire game. We're going to hear from Kyle Shanahan. We're going to hear from McCaffrey. We're going to hear from Purdy. We're going to hear from you at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570, Xfinity mobile text line. Start lining them up. YouTube chat, hit me up. Twitter, at Spadoni_Joe. But this is where it all gets started for me. Sirianni ain't no punk. I'll say that. I'll say his offense was questionable at times yesterday, but he went for it when he needed to, and I felt like that set the tone. And this play specifically set the tone, not just for the Eagles, but for the 49ers as well.
69% on the year on 4th down, 4th best in the NFL. They need 3. Hurts runs out of the pocket, looking, throwing deep. Devontae Smith, one-hander. It's the end. He's got it. 1st and goal, Philadelphia.
1st and goal there, and then shortly after this happens.
2nd and goal, hand it off. Sanders walks in. Touchdown, Eagles.
Kevin Burkhardt on the call for Fox Sports. And that Devontae Smith, one-handed, and it wasn't a catch. You saw it, and you were wondering, wow, that was just an amazing play. That's great. But then you saw his reaction right after. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Someone only does that, and a receiver only does that if they didn't catch the ball. I saw that immediately. I was like, I don't think he caught it the way he's reacting. Kyle Shanahan didn't pick up on that. No one on the 49ers coaching staff picked up on that. No one in the booth picked up on that. They ran another play, and that was all she wrote. Can't go back after they call another play. And then we see the replay. Should have challenged that. And I see a lot of Niners fans and just fans of football in general on Twitter last night like, hey, that shouldn't have been like, why didn't they review that real quick? Do the expedited review and pick the flag up. Well, they didn't get the views until, what, a couple minutes after that? We saw multiple angles, then we finally saw one angle that we saw it. So, listen, I'm not going to blame the refs for that one because that looked like a catch for most people. But it was the reaction afterwards that should have been the telling part. It was Devontae Smith saying, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And after that, it kind of felt like, is this going to be one of those days if you're a 49ers fan? So, 7-0 quickly. It was on a 4th down, by the way. 4th and 3, and that felt like a huge momentum shift. If they could have gotten out of that one, it's like, okay, we got all the momentum now. We deferred. They're marching down. They went for it. Okay. Game on. Well, next series, this happened.
This is as formidable defense as there is across the entire league.
A lot of fake pressure coming. Purdy, Dak floating in the air. Is it picked? No, hit the ground.
Yeah, there's something going on here on the sidelines. They're challenging it.
After reviewing the play, the ball came out prior to the quarterback's hand going forward. As a result, it was a fumble with a clear recovery by number 72 of the defense. Will the game clock operator please put 656 on the game clock, please? 6. Thank you.
Purdy fumbles. The injury happened. And in hindsight, that was probably all she wrote. It was a brutal looking injury. The way the elbow was torqued back on his throwing arm just didn't look great. You saw him on the sideline grimacing. He wasn't moving it. It was almost like a dead arm. He couldn't high-five any of his teammates. You saw the lip reading with Kyle Shanahan on the sideline. He's like, I don't think I could throw the ball. So, at that point, it's like, what else? We've already lost Trey Lance, already lost Jimmy Garoppolo, and now we lost Mr. Irrelevant, who was turned into Mr. Relevant, Brock Purdy. Josh Johnson, come on down, Oakland zone. It's just, it makes you sick. It makes you sick if you're a 49ers fan. And the way this game could have been and should have been, I think it could have been a great game. I think it could have been a game in which Sirianni and Shanahan go back and forth up and down the field. Or it could have been a DeMeco Ryans, Jonathan Gannon back and forth, But the quarterback goes down and that happens. This is football. Can't cry over it. And I said this was a therapy session, so maybe I should say you can cry about it. But at the same time, you had a hell of a season. I know no one wants to hear that right now. It was a hell of a year. After Trey Lance and then after the Jimmy Garoppolo injury, did you think you were going to be in the NFC Championship game? No chance. No chance. I don't believe you if you said you would. I know some people are like, oh, that Dolphins, you saw what Brock Purdy could do. Maybe outside of Larry Krueger, no one saw this coming. And for it to end the way it did yesterday, it's upsetting, it sucks, it's unfortunate, and it's football. I was texting with Sam Lubman, producer extraordinaire for the Morning Roast, and we were talking. I was like, I don't want to sound shallow, but that is part of the game. Like, the quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard. Shout out the late, great Al Davis. And they did that twice to two different quarterbacks. And they knocked him out of the game. And Eagles fans aren't going to be... Listen, say what you want about the Eagles fans. And we saw a bunch of the videos yesterday. I'm sure Bonte and Shasky will have a lot to say about that fan base, their experience there. Saw a lot of it. Stay classy. But again, the quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard. In that Eagles front, and we weren't sleeping on him. We talked about it all week leading up to the game. That front is ferocious. They were almost setting NFL records for sacks, and you saw why. That offensive line was getting manhandled up until Trent Williams decided to actually do something towards the end of the game and get ejected. But tip your cap to that Eagles front. Reddick, Cox, Sue, Joseph, those guys were ready to play. Brandon Graham, the linebacker, they were ready to play. And they dominated that Niners O-line. Now, again, you would like to see your quarterback stay healthy, but it doesn't always work like that. And it's unfortunate. So, Josh Johnson, he's in the game now. Fumble. They get lucky after that Purdy fumble that is reviewed. They don't score off of it. And then they punt it, punt back, punt again, punt again, punt again. It was a defensive struggle, and it felt like if the Niners could just hold this team to maybe even a 10-point lead, you have to feel pretty good heading into the second half. Hell, if it was just a 7-point like it was for a lot of the time, you're feeling like, okay, hey, Josh, just give us a chance here. The running game could be working. Let's get the ground game going. That's our bread and butter anyways. Make a couple throws here and there. We trust you. You've been around. And he was making some throws here and there. And then maybe we got this. So it kept punting. And then this happened.
Here is McCaffrey, right side, breaks a tackle. Good shifty move. Gets that. Still going. McCaffrey's going to score.
And all of a sudden, it's a tie game. Second quarter, maybe the Niners can win this game. With Josh Johnson? Are you kidding me? And then all the takes started to go off, right? Like, man, if we can win this game, man, Jimmy Garoppolo, is there a chance that he could start in the Super Bowl? Are you kidding me? Now, maybe 49ers fans weren't thinking that. A lot of people were. I know I was. I was like, oh my goodness. Because you get the sports radio takes in your mind. You're like, oh my God. There's no way, right? And a sneaky big part about that game, by the way, Jimmy Garoppolo not being able to suit up, in hindsight, costly. But he wasn't healthy yet. Boy, was he smiling on those sidelines. I saw those pearly whites. Not sure how that went with a lot of the Niners fans watching that game, but Jimmy smiles a lot. I think he's one of those guys where he's just like a nervous smiler or it's just like a tick or whatever. But him and Trey were both on the sideline, wandering back and forth, kind of shooting the yes during the game. And it was just a culmination of the season. You just saw those two guys on the sideline, kind of in the foreground, if you will, with Purdy and Johnson sitting in the background. And it was just, yikes. Are we going to get Debo in here? Are we going to get Jawan Jennings, who started in high school? Started saying on Twitter, Jawan Jennings, he's a 4-star high school recruit. I was like, guy hasn't played since high school. Can we relax? You skipped the whole version that you have to play in. You skipped college at playing quarterback. All right, he's not. Stop. Just stop. We're going to run the ball. We're going to see what happens. And they did that. So, they get the touchdown, all tied up. Then, the Eagles, they respond. Miles Sanders gets the touchdown, and that drive to respond was basically the game, I felt like, because of the amount of calls that went the Eagles' way. And most of them were correct. The one that wasn't on this drive for the Eagles in that second quarter was the illegal contact call towards the end there. That was brutal. That was the brutal call. Charvarius Ward, 2nd and 9. It was an incomplete pass. And then you felt like, okay, 3rd and 9. Bosa, let's get after him. And Bosa was, hey, listen, he had Hurts' number early on there. He was not getting fooled early. And he was playing compromised. He got his legs knocked out from him during that game too. A little friendly fire, if you will. But I'm not here to say that drive, the penalties were not warranted. The defensive pass interference, sure, if you want to argue that it wasn't DPI, it was definitely holding. Like, that was a holding on Brown. Like, he got held. So we can argue about that one all you want. The illegal use of hands to the face, from T.Y. McGill, that was absolutely illegal hands to the face. He was pushing up. Tough. I don't like, listen, happens a lot, I feel like, but the call is the call. It's dangerous on those O linemen. And they got it. The illegal contact, okay. I'll listen on that one. That was a bad call. So they get that. They march down the field. And then the play of that series for the Eagles was on that 4th and 1 at their own 34-yard line. And this is a tie game at 7-7 right now. And just, if you flip the field right there, almost assuredly the Niners are going to score a touchdown. But Sirianni, again, aggressive early, 4th and 1 at their own 34. QB sneak, 2 yards. They get the first down. They go all the way down. And then another Miles Sanders touchdown.
2nd down and 5. Sanders gets it left side. Big room and a touchdown for Sanders. His second.
So, 14-7 at this point, but you're still feeling okay if you're a 49ers fan, right? You're still feeling all right. You know what? 7 I could deal with. Not too bad. Next series, unfortunately, this happens.
The first down play sets the tone for a 2-minute drive.
Ball is bobbled and it's on the ground and loose. Who's going to get it?
He just dropped it. I mean, that was a good snap.
Eagles have it. Wow. And it's Reddick who's got the 2 sacks and the strip sack, recovers the fumble.
And you heard Greg Olson on the call there for Fox Sports. Just dropped it. And that was brutal. That felt like so deflating. Ugh. Man. Can't catch a break. That's how you're feeling at that point. You're feeling snake bit if you're a 49ers fan. Feeling absolutely snake bit. So then you got Hurts. Short gain up the middle. Dallas Goedert, 5 yards. Then another Goddard pass for 5 yards. Okay. 1st and 10 at the 20. Boston Scott pushed out of bounds, -4 yards right there. Loss of 4. Dre Greenlaw. Face mask. Oh, Dre. And it feels like he's been good for one of those once every other game. Just a boneheaded play from the linebacker that put them in the position to do this.
Hurts going to give it to Scott. Racing around the edge. Scott is in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
21-7. And at that point, if you just held them to 10, maybe, if it was a 10-point lead at the halftime, you could have lived with yourself. 14 felt like it was a lot. Brock Purdy wasn't coming back in until Josh Johnson left the game later, but that was the game, folks. That was the game. We can go into that second half all we want. Could this happen? Could that happen? After the concussion was sustained from Josh Johnson, it was all she wrote. Brock Purdy couldn't throw the ball anymore, and the game was over, and it got out of hand, and it got ugly late. Got ugly with scrums. We had John Hussey, the referee, trying to say multiple times, go back to your side of the bench. All players go back to your sideline. Like, it was ugly. It was ugly on and off the field. And we're going to hear from Kyle Shanahan, McCaffrey, and Purdy, but I want to hear from you now at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. YouTube chat. Derek from the YouTube chat. I think this summarizes it well. How can you break down a game properly without having a quarterback? It's a good point. I had to just pretty much give the lay of the land, what happened in this game, because it was just so crazy. Hell, we had at one point, and there's just so many things you could dissect. We had a punt from the Eagles that clearly hit some sort of high wire, but because there wasn't a definitive angle from New York, they're like, the lead referee was Hussey, right? He comes out, he's like, because we don't have a clear or we don't have any video evidence of the ball hitting the wire, it's first down 49ers. Because if it did hit the wire, it would have been a re-kick, dead play, replay, right? Replay of down. But it didn't happen. And it looked horrible. Kern, the punter, I was like, that was the worst punt I've ever seen. It hit a wire. But listen, Niners caught a break there. I'll say that. It was one at least, right? You got one break. Didn't end up really mattering too much, but I digress. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Red and gold reaction, and we're going to have all the red and gold reaction today on 95.7 The Game all day. Keep it locked and loaded right here, 95.7 The Game. Bonta and Chasky in T-minus 40 minutes. They are fired up. They were in Philly. They are staying in Philly, at least for this show today. Should be back in the Bay tomorrow, hopefully. But they are in the Philadelphia 94 WIP studios, and they are fired up, and they will be taking all your calls. And we're taking all your calls here. If you want to give us a call, 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Xfinity Mobile text line. Red and Gold Reaction is brought to you by San Francisco Sheriff's Office. Your future begins here. Visit sfsheriff.com to apply today. Here's the head coach, Kyle Shanahan, doing a little quick breakdown after the game on what happened.
I don't think we were numb. I mean, guys were up for the challenge. I thought our defense was playing real well. We felt Josh was going to go in there and execute our plan and give us a chance. You know, that we got, I think it was 7-7. They went down. They got a number of those. They had that one long drive with all those penalties, and then they got the 14-7, and we ended up having that fumble, which was 21-7. We felt confident coming out in the third quarter, but on that opening drive, we lost our last quarterback, and then after that, we were inspired watching our defense and stuff, and we felt the whole time, down 2 scores, we felt we could run the ball well enough and hopefully generate some stuff and hopefully get a turnover on the other side or something like that to give us a chance to come back. But we didn't move the chains enough, and then once they got that third score, I believe, after the roughing the punter, then it was real tough to catch up.
And the roughing the punter call was tough because it looked like Mason was pushed from behind. And I don't know, you heard Mike Pereira, the chief referee analyst, whatever you want to call him, for Fox Sports. He was saying, but you got to give him a clear landing space. It's almost like in the NBA, right? The Zaza Pachulia Kawhi Leonard rule. Got to give him a clear space into the planting foot. You can't, run into him. So it was tough. It was a tough call. Probably should have been, if anything, a holding or a block in the back on the Eagles there, but it wasn't. And you didn't get the call, and it felt like all the calls were going against you all day. Some of them, and most of them, I will say, were self-inflicted. Some mental lapses from the defense that we haven't seen all season. Some adversity they were going through that they haven't seen all season. And this is a team that saw their 2 starting quarterbacks early in the year leave, then another one leave in the NFC Championship game, the guy that was carrying them, the guy that they all believed in. And listen, let's put the rat on the table. Shout out Daryl LaGuru Johnson. If you didn't think Brock Purdy was the most important player before that game, definitely was coming out of that game. He was the most important player in regards of them winning a championship. Absolutely. You could say Christian McCaffrey was the most important acquisition in regards of opening up that offense. But, man, once Purdy went down, the air in the building, at least in my house, the air in Lincoln was probably, I'm sure, nice and green. But the air in the 49ers building and sideline, I'm sure, just... You heard it from Shanahan there that they believed in Josh, and listen, I was believing a little bit too, because this game is predicated on a run game with McCaffrey, and if they could just get a score here and there, and then or get a turnover here, like the game's changing. The Eagles, that offense was not as great as I think a lot of us thought it was going to be. I was not super impressed by that Eagles offense. I wasn't. A lot of drive extending penalties. And listen, they're a hell of an offense because I've seen it all year. Jalen Hurts is a hell of a quarterback, MVP candidate. A.J. Brown's a hell of a player. Devontae Smith. We get all of that. Miles Sanders. Kenneth Gainwell was making plays. Boston Scott. Like, they have players. But that Niners defense, they have nothing to be ashamed of. Don't hang your heads down. They kept him in that game for the most part, where most teams would have just folded early. D'Amico Ryans, he deserves that head coaching job wherever he's going, and it looks like it's going to be the Houston Texans. And that'll be a tough loss, another one. We'll see what Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch have in store on the defensive coordinator side of the ball. But the 49ers defense, they showed out, and they showed why they were the number 1 defense all season long. Tough way to lose it. I don't think the final score should indicate how good of a defensive performance they were putting out yesterday in Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles 31, 49ers 7. We're breaking it all down all day right here on 95.7 The Game. 888-957-9570. 888-957-9570. Xfinity Mobile text line, YouTube chat. Continue to hit me up with your takes. What's going on next? What's next for the quarterback? We're going to be breaking down all week, but right now we're focusing on this game. What did you see? What was frustrating? What was encouraging, if anything? Let me know at 888-957-9570. Eagles are headed to the Super Bowl to take on the Kansas City Chiefs after defeating the San Francisco 49ers 31-7. Up next, we're going to hear from the quarterback, Brock Purdy, and a report that we got late last night regarding his injury. It is a baseball injury, and if you are familiar with pitchers, it's potentially not a good one. That's up next on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
It's a Monster Monday on 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by John Vai's Bay Area Houses. Thinking of selling your home but don't want to deal with repairs, cleaning, realtors, photos, and showings? With John Vai's Bay Area Houses.com. You don't have to do any repairs or pay any commissions. Visit John Vai's Bay Area Houses.com.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's Babbel.com.
Every pro is an MVP to us. As a Lowe's MVP's Rewards member, you can earn bonus points when you shop select products and brands. Then redeem them for exciting rewards like tools, sports memorabilia, e-gift cards, and more. Join today to become a member and start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any, subject to program terms while supplies last. Points expire at end of calendar year. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details.
Did you know you could be driving in a pile of cash, like right now? Bumper makes it easy to know what your car is worth. The used car market is hot right now. Bumper.com could be your opportunity to make some bank. Bumper.com lets you know what your car is worth based on your car's specific details. So whether you're selling or just want to know, Bumper makes it easy. Know what your car is worth. Just go to Bumper.com.
For buying and beyond, Bumper.com.
Bumper reports are based upon data available. Bumper may not have the complete historical records of every vehicle.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill each morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
If you're considering remodeling your home in 2023, talk with your architect or designer about utilizing Golden State Window and Door for your upcoming project. Each location across the Bay Area features beautifully planned displays. You'll be surprised by the variety of styles. Their respected partners include Anderson, Milgard, Marvin, and many other top brands. For locations, images, and more, visit goldenstatelumber.com. Since 1954, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
So, the other day, I bought an extremely chatty...
Boring story time!
Make that an extremely catty cockatoo.
You're welcome!
Apparently, the pet store won't take it back. But, hey, I'll manage.
I love that for you!
Just like I manage without home internet.
No, you don't!
Sure, my mobile hotspot is slow and makes streaming shows unbearable.
Aw, Purdy likes to stream!
But I'm making do. Oh no, who's this?
My lady friend! It's mating season, duh!
No home internet? It's not that bad.
No, not there!
It is that bad. Don't settle. Get Xfinity Home Internet for just $19.99 a month for 1 year with a free streaming box. Call, click, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Offer ends 2/21/23.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95-7 the game. Philadelphia Eagles 31, 49ers 7 as the Eagles are headed to Glendale, easy enough for me to say, Glendale, Arizona, to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, who will be in it for the third time in the last 5 years for Patrick Mahomes. And it's the Andy Reid Bowl, it's the Kelsey Bowl, it's the whatever bowl. The 49ers aren't in it bowl. And we're breaking down this loss all day right here on 95.7 The Game. The Red and Gold reaction is brought to you by Boxer and Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. All right. Niner fans, 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. 408. So Shanahan decides to try to block Reddick, who is second in the league in sacks behind Bosa, with the backup tight end, and Purdy gets hurt. Whose fault is that? Well, okay. If that's what we're going to do it, tight ends have to block too. Like, that's part of their job. Was it a good block? No. But this happens. The best of the best. Sometimes Travis Kelce is even put on guys that he can't block. And he's not a good blocker, and he's a Hall of Famer. That happens. It's football. What if he made a hell of a block there? Right? Like, you can do woulda, coulda, shoulda with other stuff, like the challenges. Like, he should have challenged that, or the Hawkeye system, whatever, that new expedited replay system. Maybe should have gotten that earlier, but it didn't. But there's things you can crush Kyle Shanahan for. Clock management. Like a lot of those delay of games yesterday. Like, why didn't he use a timeout? What was that? Like, you're already putting your fourth string quarterback in a more precarious situation as it is. Burn a timeout. Talk to your guy. Calm him down. He can't hear. He's struggling. Help the dude out. But no, I'm not going to be blaming Kyle because one of his tight ends missed a blocking assignment. It's on the tight end. Make a block. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking more about why he didn't challenge the Smith catch.
Because the replay we saw didn't definitely show that. We saw one up on the scoreboard. I was going to throw one anyways, just to hope to take the chances, but they showed one up on the scoreboard that didn't have all the angles you guys saw, and that looked like a catch. So we don't want to waste a timeout, which we definitely would have if we didn't see that. But then I heard they got a couple other angles, and you guys end up seeing later that it was not a catch.
Was not a catch. It was tough. And I think a lot of 49er fans are frustrated because, as we've seen throughout these playoffs specifically, is this expedited review process that the NFL's been doing. They've been coming together a lot on the field, picking up flags, doing this, doing that. And they felt like that should have been a case in which they changed the call on the field. New York should have gotten to John Hussey and the crew and be like, nope, incomplete. Well, you heard it from Shanahan there. They didn't get a couple of those angles until late. But if you're New York, you should have access to all those angles all at once, right? Everything, everywhere, all at once. Is that some movie or something? I keep seeing it on Twitter. There you go, Sam. Finger up. Sam's locked in. But this is a layup show today, Sam, for a producer. This is the best. A day after a playoff game. We would have liked to win, but we know we're getting callers either way. I'll have to have that dump buddy ready. That's all I know. Be a lot of therapy sessions throughout the day right here on 95.7 The Game. YouTube chat. Dave Johnson. Kyle, I'm assuming Shanahan, is not an elite HC. He is a good coach. Whoa. We just got a lot right there. Chat's on fire. Okay. What's 3 NFC championships within the last 4 years? Like, is that bad? Is that good? Listen, again, you can crush Kyle Shanahan for stuff like I just mentioned. The timeouts, the not challenging, stuff like that. But I'm not here to... The guy was on his 3rd string quarterback. Got to his 4th string quarterback yesterday. And I still believed in him. I had to think they had a chance to win that game if Josh Johnson stays healthy. That's how great of a coach Kyle Shanahan is. I'm not here to crush the guy today. And that's your prerogative, Bobby Brown, if you would like to do that. But again, he is up there in the upper echelon of all the great head coaches in this league. He is a quality head coach. Jason in Milpitas wants to weigh in real quick. Jason Milpitas, your thoughts on this real quick, Jason? No? Thank you, Sam. Jason, you're on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Jason from Milpitas. I want to say bang, bang, now you're getting faithful to the Bay. It's hard to win when you have a 4-string traveling quarterback playing an NFC Championship game, right? It is what it is. Kyle did an amazing job this year with what he had to deal with. But when it comes down to Josh Johnson to try to win you a game, it ain't going to happen. And like I was saying, RD did an amazing job against the front-runner MVP, held him to 122 passing yards and only 39 rushing yards. That is a horrible game for Jalen Hurts. Sorry. So RD did his job. That turnover before the first half was ending killed us. That fumble from Josh Johnson absolutely demolished us, our morale and everything else. But, hey, Brock Purdy all the way next year, he's going to be our quarterback. He showed no signs to not be our quarterback next year.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate the call, man. That was good stuff from Jason. Optimistic Niners fan there. I'm sure not a lot of you share that optimism. It's tough right now, but I think Jason's looking at the bigger picture here. And I don't know what's going to happen with Brock Purdy. I teased it earlier. Should probably pay off that tease. Per Adam Schefter of ESPN, Brock Purdy injured his ulnar collateral ligament, or his UCL for those that are in the know in baseball. A lot of pitchers get that injury. So he injured his ulnar collateral ligament during yesterday's NFC Championship game. The hope is that it's not ruptured, and it would require only a 6-week recovery. But tests Monday will provide clarity. So we'll get more tests today. And again, we find out anything, any news, we will hit that breaking news sounder immediately. Because, yeah, Brock Purdy, I think he is QB1 heading into next year, but I'm not ready to say he's going to be starting week 1 over Trey Lance just yet. That is a serious injury. And if it is ruptured, that would suck. We hope it isn't. And if that lingers in the nerves and all of that ligament damage lingers throughout his career, listen, he didn't have great arm strength before. Just think about what it would be after that. Now, modern medicine, whatnot, we see pitchers come back all the time. The strength gets back. I'm sure it could be done. Football, a little different. If he doesn't have great arm strength already, and he's already even more handicapped by that, it would make him even more limited. And just how would that go on in practice leading up into training camp? Him going up against Trey. Obviously, Trey's got the stronger arm. I think Purdy is a little more, how should I say this? Got more moxie than Trey a little bit. But I haven't seen enough of Trey still. So we're going to break that all down. That's for another time. We'll be doing that all year, all week, really, leading up to next season. But today we're focusing on the game. 49ers, they fall to the Philadelphia Eagles 31-7. We're going to be breaking it down here. One more segment. We're going to hear from the quarterback himself, Brock Purdy, on the other side as the 49ers bow out of the NFC Championship. Eagles headed to Arizona to take on the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Come on back. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
It's a Monster Monday on 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by Zenni, the official eyewear of the San Francisco 49ers. Shop from over 3,000 styles at 80% off retail prices. Exclusively at Zenni.com.
Are you ready to boost your game at work, explode with energy at the gym, and really hit one out of the park in the bedroom? Balanced Medical Solutions has your back with the best solutions for ED, PE, weight gain, and chronic fatigue. Join thousands of Bay Area men who have said goodbye to low testosterone, low energy, and low libido who now feel like world champs. Mention this station until the end of the month to get a medical evaluation with labs, including hormone tests, for only $69. Call today and get a win. 510-679-3300 or visit balancedmedicalsolutions.com.
Every pro is an MVP to us. As a Lowe's MVP's rewards member, you can earn bonus points when you shop select products and brands. Then redeem them for exciting rewards like tools, sports memorabilia, e-gift cards, and more. Join today to become a member and start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. While supplies last. Points expire at end of calendar year. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details.
Technology allows drones to deliver pizza. Here's mine now.
Approaching drop zone.
But to deliver powerful insights that are on target, you need more than technology. You need CDW to help transform and manage your IT environment with a Dell technology solution that lets you slice your data any way you want to accelerate innovation.
Delivering. Don't forget to tip.
Dell Technologies makes data-driven insights possible. CDW makes it powerful. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Data Center.
Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of California Deluxe Windows. Ever notice? When your neighbors get new windows, there is a large black eye of broken stucco, uneven plaster, and even mismatched paint. At California Deluxe Windows, we never leave a ring around the window. Why? Because we are one of the only companies in California who custom crafts every window and door to your home's exact measurements. Almost everyone else on the radio is a distributor. They grab a window from a warehouse, break open your walls, shove it in, and patch things up. At California Deluxe Windows, we take pride in our work. Our installation technique is so precise, we do not break your stucco. Your house could be covered with potato chips, and we wouldn't crack one.
Call now, and for a limited time, you get 30% off your entire order and 24 months of interest-free financing. 800-874-3600. 800-874-3600. That's 800-874-3600. California Deluxe Windows. Windows engineered for life.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
Investing is confusing. Dawn raids, triple witching hour, candlesticks, crown jewels, bears, bulls, bear hugs, blue chips. It's one big word salad of uncertainty. Fortunately, Fremont Bank now has incredible rates on their savings accounts and CDs. And while savings accounts and CDs may not be known for their great rates at your current bank, at Fremont Bank, you can get great rates from a great local bank. To learn more, stop in or visit us online. We'll explain it all in plain language. Fremont Bank, serving the Bay Area since 1964. Member FDIC.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just one dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
Are you ready? Every pro is an MVP to us. As a Lowe's MVP's rewards member, you can earn bonus points when you shop select products and brands. Then redeem them for exciting rewards like tools, sports memorabilia, e-gift cards, and more. Join today to become a member and start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. While supplies last. Points expire at end of calendar year. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. The 49ers are cleaning out their closets. They're going home. as the Philadelphia Eagles defeat them 31-7 in the NFC Championship game. One more segment right here before tossing over to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. They will be live from Philadelphia today. They were at the game yesterday. I'm sure they will share their thoughts and experiences, the highs and the lows, all of that. Tough way to go out. I'm sure not a fun game to watch if you're a 49ers fan. Hell, if you were there, if you're at home, anywhere. Losing your quarterback that early in a game sucks. It sucks. And we're going to hear more today on the extent of Brock Purdy's injury. It is a ulnar collateral ligament damage per Schefter. The extent, we are not sure. They are hoping it's not ruptured. If that's the case, then it would require a lot more time. If it's not ruptured, it would only be a 6-week recovery. So let's hope the best there for Brock. They're going to be doing some tests on that today. Here's Brock Purdy on what his arm felt like right after the injury.
My arm just felt like it stretched out. Just felt like really a lot of just shocks all over from my elbow down to my wrist, front and back. Just pain, really, all over.
Yeah, that's one of those things in the elbow. If you can't really feel or feel like you don't have any strength to throw, like I'm hearing a lot from 49ers fans and people saying like he was soft, he's weak, you need to go out with your best guy. He can't throw a ball. Like, what are we doing? It's the same thing when you're arguing during a season with a guy who has a hamstring injury. He needs to hurry back. All these other guys are laying their lives on the line doing this. I was like, okay, there's certain injuries where you just can't power through it. That elbow injury, what he sustained, that's one of them. Why do you think pitchers get shut down so easily in Major League Baseball? It's the same thing. They can't throw a ball. He was having dead arm on the sideline the whole time. He was literally high-fiving his defense and teammates with one hand, and the other one was hanging down. Like, stop with that. Stop. Here's Shanahan talking about if Brock was lobbying to come back.
He didn't lobby much because he went and kept throwing and realized he couldn't. So there was no really discussion after that. He couldn't throw, and then when he came in, we had to decide what he could throw, and there weren't too many options at that.
There wasn't. After Josh Johnson got concussed, there weren't too many options after that. There weren't. That was basically the game. Maybe a wildcat type of thing, but you're not going to change your whole offensive approach right then and there. You can't. You have a set playbook that you're going. It's not time to start trying new things in the NFC Championship game. You got there with your running game. You're going to try to lean on that, and it didn't work. And you lost. But I don't think anyone should be like hanging their heads down or something like that. Hold your heads up. Hell of a season. It took 4 quarterbacks going down for you to finally lose a game. And even then, I felt like maybe if Josh Johnson, if Brock Purdy, this is how crazy and how high I think of Kyle Shanahan and that team. And that fourth quarter when they were down 21 and just getting the ball back, I was like, you know what? I still don't think this game's over. And maybe that's delusional at this point. In hindsight, it's like, Joe, you're an idiot. They were done. Okay. That Niners offense, I don't put anything past them. I don't. And it was unfortunate. And as soon as Brock came back in after Johnson had left, it was clear they were never going to throw a ball. There was a quick dump off to Kittle. That was about it. But he just couldn't throw. And here's Brock talking about testing his arm on the sideline and realizing he couldn't.
I've been throwing after the hit occurred on the sideline just to see where I was at. But even in those throws, it was painful. And so I couldn't throw anything probably over 10 yards, 5 yards. So that's why we just had some screens. That was really our only option when I went back in.
Yeah, I knew it right away. Like, that was one, and you saw it on the replay where it's just like, oh, that didn't look good. That just, the way the arm angle was going and just pushed back, that looked so painful. It was, and you saw his reaction on the sideline talking to Kyle, and it was tough for a rookie. You know, we heard Sean King, who former Bucs quarterback, who was one of the few rookie quarterbacks to start in a conference championship game, and I believe the last one to do it in the NFC for the Bucs. And he was talking about the pressure is going to be on Brock for his teammates because he doesn't want to let his teammates down. It's not on him himself in performing. It's just wanting to win for his guys that, hey, this may be their best shot to win it. to win a Super Bowl, to go to a Super Bowl. And Brock kind of validated him after the game, talking about feeling sad for all the veterans on that team.
I'm just so sad for the older guys, Fred, Trent, George, Eric Armstead, everyone, all the guys that have been through this. They've obviously been to the Super Bowl in 19 and then last year in the NFC Championship. And then for this to happen, it's in the first drive, really, of, man, like, this is the kind of game we have to play after the first drive. And I'm just frustrated, but it's more sad for those guys than anything, because they deserve to go, to win, and to win the whole thing. And so when that happened, man, I'm just more frustrated with that and sad for them.
Frustrating all around. 408 Xfinity Mobile text line. Dude, get off the air. This is a day for us to be pissed. LOL. I feel that. And trust me, you have two hosts coming up on this other side that I know are going to bring the fire. I'm Bonta Hill and Joe Shasky. And I'm here to tell you right now, listen, I would be pissed too. The circumstances in that and around that loss, it's hard for me to be mad at the team is what I'm saying. You lost your starting quarterback right off the start. And then you lost your backup, your fourth string on the year. Like, it's so hard to crush Shanahan in this game. I see a lot from the text line, from the YouTube chat. The tight end, right? Is that what we're doing? Because the tight end whiffed on Hassan Reddick. That's what we're doing. Make a play. Coaches coach, players play. Was it the smartest thing to have a tight end on a guy that was wrecking shop and led the league and forced fumbles? Probably not. But you know what? That happens in games. There's a mismatch. That happens. Every single game there's a mismatch. You'll see that. I'm sure there was not one game this year there was a perfect game plan start to finish from Kyle Shanahan. Slipped up there, and it cost him. It sucks. It sucks. I'm not here to tell you it doesn't. And it hurts, and you're in pain, and you want someone to blame. And sometimes there is no one to blame. Sometimes your quarterback gets hurt, and you just lose. Here's Purdy finishing up his press conference.
I mean, I was just thinking about how hard it is, how it takes every little thing to align the right way to win, to go all the way. I was thinking back early to the season, just what happened with all the injuries and stuff, and then, we get hot and we're winning games, and how tough even those games are to win. Last week, how tough it was to win. Then you come into an environment like this, locked in and ready to roll, and then an injury happens, and then the way the game goes just totally shifts in a different direction. So it's just all these emotions, and again, I come back to, I want it for these guys, the older guys, more than anybody. As a rookie, you can say, oh, I got your whole career, but man, these guys have told me, like, it's rare to get here. And so it's hard. It's not easy. So, man, it's more for those guys. And I feel for those guys, man, more than anything. So,
again, Brock, he was thrown into actually an ideal situation if you're a rookie, I guess you should say, with all the weapons he had, taking over for the injured Jimmy Garoppolo a couple months ago in that Miami Dolphins game in the second half. Then he just took the league by storm. Like, you saw everything. Everyone was just Brock this, Brock that, Brock and roll all night, Purdy every day, all the puns, all that. It was a really fun year. And it was really just tough to see him go out like that. You can see the sadness, kind of the tears in his eyes on the podium in the press conference yesterday. It was tough. But he has nothing to be ashamed of. He was a hell of a quarterback throughout this entire season. Put himself into the Rookie of the Year nominations. And if he probably played the whole season, probably would have won it. We'll see what happens next year, leading up to training camp. That elbow, Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo's probably gone, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, all that sort of stuff. We'll get into that all week long. But next couple minutes, still just reacting and having a therapy session, if you will, as the Eagles defeat the 49ers 31-7. And it was tough. It's a tough game. 6-5-0, it's just one of those mornings. I feel you. Spadoni with the Soprano tracksuit, no shirt, chain. Tell us how it is. This is a Monday suit. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Hell, I don't get a lot of sleep as it is anyways. Our heater in our houses went out. It was chilly. It was held together for warmth. That was tough. That was not fun. Hopefully that heater gets fixed today. Pilot light kept going out after like a minute, and I think there's like a coupling or something wrong with it. Anyways, I digress. 408 Xfinity Mobile text line. You're right. The situation was a horrible way to lose because we don't know what could have happened with Brock. I would rather lose a close game than the way we lost yesterday. Yeah. I was thinking about that heading in. I was like, would you rather have lost like the Bengals did last night? But the Bengals lost in a play that push out of bounds. It was the right call, and you're going to get that call given the quarterback and given the stadium you're in, and given the injury that face of the league and that quarterback is dealing with in Patrick Mahomes. I just hated that, though. I hate when things get decided not on the field, but off of it with flags and hankies, all that sort of stuff. And it felt like this weekend in sports, and I'm not just talking football. I don't know if all of you were watching that game Saturday night in Boston where Jason Tatum hacked LeBron's arm. Should have been 2 free throws to LeBron to ice the game. Wasn't called. It is what it is. They were wrong. Immediately after the next morning, they said they were wrong. And refs in the 2-minute report and all that, the pool report. Listen, it's a tough job. I'm not here to crush officials. We have one that we work with, Dan Dibley. He worked, 9 games this weekend? I'm sure he will have a lot to say. It's a tough job. But we strive for excellence in all the jobs that we work in, and we just want the best to get it done in the biggest moments. And it felt like this weekend, there's a lot to be desired, to put it nicely. That's going to do it for this edition of the pregame show. Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky are coming up next. Start lining up those phone lines, 888-957-9570. Xfinity Mobile text line, YouTube. Thank you. Once again, the final from Philadelphia, 31-7. Philadelphia Eagles over the San Francisco 49ers. Eagles heading to the Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. Well, they will take on their old head coach, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Morning roast next. This was the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.